Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today I'm taking a look at all of the sets that LEGO released for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. We do have 5 sets here. Unfortunately, only 3 of them are actually based on the second movie, but I did want to wait to make this video until I had seen it. Usually I don't watch the movies before I make these collection videos, but I thought it was important to do so this time. And I'm glad I did, because that movie was absolutely incredible. I think it is the second best thing that Marvel's ever made, maybe first. I don't know, I'm seeing it again tonight, so I'll figure that out. But I do want to talk about what's missing and what I think LEGO could have done better, because I do think that that's an important aspect of talking about LEGO sets based on movies, and it's not something I usually do. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. These are all of the minifigure-based sets that we got in this wave. We've got King Namor's throne room here for $35, Shuri's lab for $10, Shuri's Sunbird for $50, and then Black Panther War on the Water for a whopping $90. I think that everything here makes sense. The Shuri's lab set is based on the first Black Panther movie, but I think it's very important of LEGO to still include T'Challa in these sets in some way, shape, or form, so I'm really glad that we still got a minifigure of him. I will be taking a closer look at all of the minifigures at the end of the video. And of course, LEGO also honored T'Challa with that thing, the giant Black Panther life-sized bust, which I have separately reviewed, and I've separately reviewed all of these sets except for Shuri's lab, so you can check out the review of this set, but I'm not going to be talking about it a lot in this video. I will just say that I think LEGO could have made a better direct-to-consumer set. I would have liked it if they had made like the Mountain of Vibranium, the Great Mound, and Shuri's like actual lab instead of like the little 4+ set, because I think this is a cool set, but it's not very well designed. I don't really think it needed to be made, and I think that if they had made a play set that was also an impressive display piece based on the first Black Panther movie, it would have gone a much longer way. Shuri's lab is a pretty basic 4+ set. I didn't review it because I don't really think it was worth a review. It's just got like one little play feature and a cool print, so I'm not really going to waste that much time talking about it. We do get some nice weapons, but I think the main star are the minifigures, which we will talk about more later. For now, I just want to focus on the actual Wakanda Forever sets, because it's really nice that we got 3 of them. Usually we only get like 1 or 2 sets for a Marvel solo movie. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not really missing anything important here. I think that what we got is pretty well representative of the movie. I just wish that they had been executed a little bit better. So I'll go ahead and give a bit of a spoiler warning right now, because I might get into light spoilers. I'm not going to spoil like anything huge, but just, be aware. So after watching the movie, what would I have liked to have seen? I would need something from Talokan, I would need a Wakandan vehicle of some sort, and I would need the big ship that the final battle takes place on. And what do we have here? We have a little bit of Talokan, we have a Wakandan vehicle, and we've got the big ship. The issue here is that I wish that these sets were just like a little bit better. Like Namor's throne room, this is an awesome set. Like, it's a really nice little display piece. I do think the chair is kind of weird. Like, there's no actual throne for him to sit on. He's just sitting on some bright red pieces. This is supposed to be like the back of his throne as seen in the movie, but like his back is supposed to rest against it. It's not like, behind the shark jaws. So I don't love that, just because this is like a really ornate display piece, but there's no actual throne for him to sit on. It's like the man is just sitting on the floor. And I mean, like, other than that, like, it's awesome. But like, after watching the movie and seeing just how epic Talokan is, I wish that we had gotten a little bit more. I'm not saying we needed to get like another structure, but it's like, I wish that this like shark jaw thing was a little bit bigger, like maybe make this a $50 set instead of a $35 one. But that's not a huge complaint. That is kind of nitpicking, because I still think that it's a really awesome set. And it did come with this side build of this little submarine for Shuri. This is actually not really like in the movie per se, like the vehicle is, but it's Nakia who takes it down into the water. And it's completely transparent in the movie. So as soon as I saw it, I knew that it was the LEGO set, and it does indeed open up like this in the movie, and they do lie in the vehicle like that in the movie. Because minifigures are odd proportions and there are limitations to LEGO bricks, this is much bigger than it is in the movie, because in the movie it literally just slots around Nakia's body exactly. And then there are some other characters like hanging onto the back of it. So even though it's oversized, I still really love it. Like, this might be my favorite build in the entire wave, just because it is so perfect, like with all of the LEGO geometry. And I just think that it's really awesome. And it's nice to see that it is actually like a thing that was in the film. Now for Shuri's Sunbird, though. You guys know that I actually really liked this set in my review. I liked it a lot more than I expected. It is a very, very weird, unique design with these like big kind of repulsor engines. You've got this beautiful purple cockpit. You've got like the black and gold color scheme. And then like these giant wings at the back, like they can move in and out, but they don't really like do anything beyond that. And when I saw the set, I was very surprised to see that they were kind of just like stuck, like pancaked like this, that like you couldn't open these sections. And they do open in the movie. So this set it kind of reminds me of the Kylo Ren's shuttle from like the 2015 Force Awakens wave, in that like I think the designers just got it wrong, maybe because the concept art they were working on was outdated. But in the movie, there are 4 of these like kind of like back like winglets, and they are not connected. Like they all like open, and they open up like really beautifully like an insect. Like a lot of Wakandan vehicles are insect-like, for example, like the dragon flyers. And so I really wish Lego had done that. I mean, like you can just break it. Like you can just break it and then like splay them open, but like they're not designed to do that, as you can see from how like weak and floppy they are. There's no friction to hold them in place. And if there was just a little more friction, I think that that would work really well, because this was like the epic look that it had in the movie, like with them all opening. But again, there were 4 of them in the movie. And the other thing is that this is not the color scheme of the ship at all. This thing is very black, gold, purple, which seems like a Wakandan color scheme to me. So I really like the set for that. But in the movie, it's like silver with some pale gold accents. Like it's entirely silver. Like I kept looking at it. I'm like, is it like a grayish black? Is it just like really bright outside right now? But no, it's just like silver. And so while I think this set, it's still a good set and it looks really cool in black, it's just not really anything like the ship. Like it gets the general like look of the ship down, but it kind of falls apart at the back, because like I said, the back is a lot more elaborate in the film. It's the completely wrong color, which is kind of disappointing to me. The cockpit is not purple in the movie, but I like it being purple in the Lego set because purple's a nice color for windshield pieces. And the Lego set does fit only 1 person, which I thought in the movie that it would be a 2-seater, and indeed it is. And it has like a transparent cockpit, but that's not like a huge deal. There's no other interior that we saw in the movie, so it's not like I'm missing that. I just think that, unfortunately, even though it's still a cool toy, it is pretty inaccurate to the finished vehicle. And also, in the set, you get Ironheart Mark I, Nakia, and Atuma. None of these characters are in this scene. The only character in the scene, like in the set, is Shuri. The other person in the scene with her, or the other people, were Namor and Aneka, who's a character that we didn't get. And I'll talk about that more when we get to the minifigures. But even though these minifigures are all really, really cool, especially these two, I think it's very weird that like it's just the completely wrong scene, and that's not something I expected, because like I don't know, like usually if Lego gets a scene wrong, it's because it's something they made up. It's not something that's like half right with just like the incorrect minifigures. And now we get to War on the Water, the most overpriced and underwhelming Marvel set I have seen in a really long time. The overall shape of the ship, it's awesome. This is what it looked like in the movie. I don't really remember if it had like the dark gray and black division, but I mean, like all of these lines look right to me. The engines are beautiful in the movie and like this. Of course, as I suspected, this is basically nanoscale. The dragon flyers on the back of this ship in the movie, they are actual full-sized flyers. I also said in my review, that's just how they work in case you didn't see that review. I also said in my review that the yellow looked very wrong to me because Wakandan technology is very like black, purple, blue, not yellow. And indeed, I did not see any yellow in the movie. Although to be fair, I don't really think I saw any kind of windshield. But then to me, that means that if there was a windshield, it must be black, because yellow would have stuck out like a sore thumb in the movie the same way it does on this set. I do still like the overall shape of the Lego thing, but another complaint that I had was that the entire thing is open on top. Like, it's just like an open deck. That is completely inaccurate. It was like a closed ship because it was a submarine boat, basically. Like, it could go underwater, but it also sailed like on the ocean. And that's something I had expected because it's got, you know, repulsors and stuff. But I was just very disappointed by the Lego set. Like I'm very disappointed by the Lego set looking like this because they got the shape so right, but it's just not an interesting toy like whatsoever. The only interior in here is a little jail cell for Namor. Sorry, M'Baku. Like you can, oh, I forgot. That's where I'm storing all the extra hair pieces and stuff for this wave. But that's not something that's in the movie. They do take Namor prisoner, but they do it in the Royal Talon fighter, not inside this ship. And actually, we don't see any interior to this ship at all. So I figured that that might be the case, like when we saw that the Lego set didn't have an interior. But again, like Lego for this set, they invented like the control room sections and they invented that cell. So couldn't you have just invented an interior and made it more interesting? Like, I don't know, like it's not like I think they should have made a different set for like the biggest set in the wave, because like what else would they do? Like the Royal Talon fighter has already been done. We've got like a Dragon Flyer like on shelves right now from the Endgame wave from 2021. So, and like action does take place in Wakanda, as we saw in the trailers. Namor floods Wakanda, but I don't really think that like you couldn't build the palace of Wakanda and the throne room with just like a $90 budget. Although clearly this was designed to be like a $70 or an $80 set, and then Lego just jacked the price up. So I kind of would have preferred like that to have been the biggest set in the wave, like the Wakandan throne room. Actually, yeah, because Lego doesn't need to do an exterior for that. It could have just been like an entirely interior-based play set, and it could have given us some minifigures we're sorely missing. But I understand why they made this the biggest set in the wave, because this is like the site of the final battle. I just think that it could have and should have been executed a lot better, because the overall shape is like the movie, but like nothing else is. And that's because we didn't go inside it, but then like Lego could have invented something more interesting to make it a good toy. As for minifigures, M'Baku, perfectly accurate. Don't really care about him not having leg printing. Like, it would be nice, but I think I'm more missing like a fur collar for him, since he looks like kind of naked without it, in my opinion. Namor, we've already spoken about how he's inaccurate, and again, I'll talk about that more with the minifigures. But good inclusion. The Black Panther, perfect inclusion, needed to be in this set. Okoye, completely inaccurate to this scene. We'll talk about it a little bit more in just a second, but I think that Lego just really dropped the ball with her. And then Ironheart is definitely the best minifigure in this set by far, and pretty much I think like the only reason that you should buy it. Here are all 14 of the minifigures that we get across this wave. Unfortunately, there are a bunch of repeats, and I don't really love that. So I guess we'll start with the Black Panthers themselves. First of all, T'Challa. We do get him in Shuri's lab. Good minifigure, not great. Like, all of the Black Panther minifigures that Lego has made since Civil War have sucked. Like, face prints are always good, torso prints are always good. The lack of leg printing is just absolutely ridiculous at this point. It is so stupid. Black Panther is Marvel's like most culturally defining character outside of like Iron Man, and he's way more important than Iron Man like in the real world. And so for Lego to not even give him a printed headpiece, to not even give him printed legs, it's just ridiculous. I really wish that we had gotten a Black Panther minifigure in the big $350 set, like with a Chadwick Boseman like headpiece, like face print, I mean, because I think that Lego should have made a really good T'Challa minifigure, given that he's not in this movie. And unfortunately, they just gave us another mediocre one. And I mean, like, this one would be fine if we had gotten a good one in the big set, but we didn't. And then as for the new Black Panther, who we all know from the Lego set, we already know their identity, but she should have been much better. The face print, great. Torso print, great. Unprinted headpiece, terrible. Looks really bad because that print should clearly continue up into the head. And then the lack of leg printing is just, once again, so freaking stupid. I mean, honestly, she needed arm printing. So I'm waiting for Firestar Toys to make leg and arm printing for her, because this is a gorgeous suit. It's a little bit busy, but it's one of my favorite suit designs in the entire MCU. And Lego, once again, just did not do it justice. And what's weird about that is that the Shuri minifigure that we get in all of the other sets, she does have leg printing, except this outfit is not in the movie. Whoops, knocked over Black Panther. So I don't know if Lego was working off of incorrect concept art or what, but we don't see anything similar to this outfit in the movie. Shuri is either wearing like a purple jumpsuit for the most part that we've seen in a lot of advertising. It's what she's wearing on the box art for these sets, or she's wearing like a Talokanil like outfit. And so I think that this minifigure is really cool, but because it's completely inaccurate, I really wish Lego had just spent the money to print the legs on her Black Panther minifigure instead. The face print also irritates me, because obviously Shuri does not smile like at all in this movie. Like, she does when she's talking to Riri and stuff. Like, there are jokey moments, But to give a character like this two stupid smiling faces when it's already been a problem for female Lego Marvel minifigures in 2021, it's just like, it's honestly kind of offensive to me. Like, this is a movie about grief and loss and anger and like vengeance, and for Shuri to be grinning like a doofus on both of her face prints. Like, I don't care if she has one smiling face, but for her to only be smiling, I think that's really, really dumb and annoying. At least her hairpiece is excellent though. Like, this is a great new hairpiece, totally accurate to how she looks in the movie, and I love that Lego went that extra mile to make it for her. And then we do have another Shuri minifigure based off of her appearance in Black Panther 1 and Endgame. This one is pretty good. I don't like the purple cones on the gauntlet, but that's just a personal preference. Love the torso print. Love this face print. She is smiling, but like, this face print is just excellent. And then she does have a slightly angrier one on the other side, and this is what I wish that we got for Wakanda Forever. I guess we'll just finish out with the Wakandans. M'Baku, I mean, I already talked about him. He just needs a fur collar, and then I think that he's good. Leg printing, I understand that Lego can't print the legs on every minifigure, so he would be fine without it. Okoye is just terrible. I think she's a terrible minifigure. Again, smiling face. Okoye like doesn't smile. Like, even before T'Challa died, she like didn't smile. Torso print is good. Love the back head printing, which is a little bit difficult to see in this light. But she needed leg printing for her Dora Milaje outfit. She should have done with shoulder pads as well. But this minifigure is wholly inaccurate to the set it appears in, because Okoye suits up in the Midnight Angels armor later on in the movie, and that's what she should have been wearing in the final battle set. So that is one of the biggest omissions from these sets, is that we don't have the Midnight Angels armor. And I don't love the Midnight Angels armor. It is a cool design, I think, and I would really love to see a good Lego minifigure of it. I don't think Lego would make a good minifigure of it, so like, I don't really blame them for not including it, but it is like one of the biggest things missing from the sets, and I wish that we had gotten a good Okoye minifigure instead of another like half-baked one. Nakia is an amazing figure. I love the printing on her torso and legs, and the printing on her face is just like absolutely epic. I don't think she had these lines on her face in the movie. I don't remember exactly, like maybe for the final battle, but definitely not like in the middle of the movie, although she was wearing this suit. I don't mind them because I think that they look really cool, so I don't really care if they're inaccurate because they are just incredible, and I love that Lego made a new face print for her. Again, I think that her having a smiling face is fine. She is a little bit of a softer character. She does, like, I think smile like more than someone like Shuri. But the hairpiece is totally wrong, and I did speak about this in my review. The swords are wrong too, because they should be green. But the hairpiece, like, this is her hairpiece from the first movie, and she had hair that looked nothing like this in the second movie. And her hair in the second movie was freaking amazing. So I don't know why Lego didn't, like, reuse Baron Mordo's hairpiece, or honestly, like, maybe even the Aquaman hairpiece would look okay on her. I'm gonna have to test out some other options. Once Firestar Toys comes out with, like, upgrades for some of these minifigures, I'm gonna like buy a bunch of different hair pieces and try them on Nakia, and I'll probably end up doing another minifigure mods video. And then we get to Riri Williams, my two favorite minifigures in this entire wave. Now that like Wanda's taking a little bit of a break, I can feel like the Iron Man stan clawing its way out of my heart. Because I was like the biggest Iron Man fan before Wanda entered the MCU. And with Ironheart in here now, like, I'm so excited for her. I love her so much. I love this minifigure. Arm printing would have been great, but again, don't really expect Lego to do that. Like, that is the only thing I could nitpick on to say that this minifigure could be better, is if she had arm printing. Because it's just excellent. I love her face with the goggles. That is perfect. I love her reverse face as well. That one's smiling. The hairpiece is totally inaccurate. She does not have a hairdo like this at all at any point in the movie. It's never this like big and puffy. This was made for Monica Rambeau in WandaVision, and it's perfect for Monica. Terrible for Riri. But the thing is, Riri wears a ponytail, and Ironheart has like these massive jetpacks on her suit. So you can't really put Riri in a ponytail given the constraints of Lego. So I understand why they picked this hairpiece. I still think they could have picked something smaller, like something sleeker, something that's still tied back, even if it wasn't a long ponytail. Or actually, Riri doesn't have a ponytail, does she? I think she just has like slicked back, like tight braids. But like the point is, Lego could have used a textured, like African-American styled like hairpiece that wasn't as long as her hair in the movie, but looked a little bit better than this. I think that this looks good. Like, it doesn't ruin the look of the minifigure. Like, I think Nakia's minifigure is kind of ruined by the incorrect hair. But like, so this isn't like a huge thing for me. It's just something I wish Lego had done better, and I probably will look for a similar hairpiece for her. Her other minifigure, though, and I did add the power blasts here, by the way, did not come in the set, but I just added them for my display. The only real complaint I have here is the helmet. You guys know I don't like this Iron Man helmet, the kind where you just print the face mask on. She has a wonderful face underneath without the goggles on this time. I'm really impressed that Lego made 2 new face prints for her, but I mean, Iron Man is their bread and butter, so I'm not surprised to see Ironheart getting as much attention as him in terms of minifigure detailing. I wish that they would make a new mold for her helmet, though. Her helmet really looks nothing like Tony Stark's. It is much like more bulbous, like it's rounder, not as like kind of like oval shaped. And I think that this is okay, but it could be better. And I mean, I don't know how I feel about her jetpack. Like, this jetpack looks okay. I don't really remember how well it looked in the movie. I don't like it in the movie, I gotta be perfectly honest. Like, I really like the design of this suit, but I just don't like all the bulkiness back here once you get up to a suit that's this sleek. So I still really like this figure. She's one of my favorites in the wave for sure. But I do want to see Lego make a new helmet mold for Ironheart if her helmets continue to be so different from Tony's in her own series. And now we can move on to the Talokanil, as they are called. Namor, excellent minifigure. Looks not really anything like he does in the movie. He does wear like a kind of like collar thing, but I think it's more ornate with like pearls and stuff in the movie. He does not wear his Speedo. He has like green swim trunks, basically. The wings on his ankles, that's fantastic. Really glad that Lego did arm printing for him. The face, nothing like how he looks in the movie. He has piercings, he has facial hair. I really wish that they had included that. But this face is a little bit more comics accurate, so I'm sure that'll make some people happy. Still a great minifigure, I just think it's not super accurate. And then we get to like my biggest issue with these sets, and that's that we have no other Talokanil besides Atuma. And I think Atuma is not a good figure. I feel like you can't see his face at all behind like this mask thing. And I don't think he had like this pronounced of like a mask in the movie. I think the color on him is terrible. He should be a sand blue color, like this color on his helmet, not this bright, like vibrant, like cartoonish blue. I think that that makes these figures look like kind of bad. And the other thing is that Atuma didn't matter. Why are we getting 2 Atuma minifigures in this wave and not Namora, who had a bigger role and had a much more interesting design, in my opinion, because she had like this huge elaborate like lionfish headdress. I just really wish that we got more Talokanil, because the entire movie is about a war between Wakanda and Talokan. And in these sets, you have how many, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or I guess you have 6 Wakandans, you have 7 people on their side, and you have 2 Talokanil to fight all of them. Like, that's why the set name, like the biggest set's name, like War on the Water, like this thing is not a war. In the Lego set, sorry for getting it so close to the camera, but in the Lego set, it is this entire ship against like 3 people if you want to pop this off and pretend like that's a generic soldier. Like, that is ridiculous in my opinion. We really should have gotten more Talokanil minifigures. I would want like 1 generic foot soldier and Namora, or even just Namora. Even just Namora would have been fine. And then as for the Wakandans, honestly, the Black Panther minifigure just should have been better. Should have gotten the detail that that minifigure got, like slap it onto this one. Better hairpiece for Nakia, better minifigure for Okoye. The other thing we're missing, like I said, is the Midnight Angels armor. Aneka and Ayo would have been great minifigures to include. I don't really think that there was much room for them, but I feel like Lego could have put Aneka in the biggest set. Because the thing is that War on the Water, it is a $90 set that is only worth, with a build that is probably only worth like 60 or 70. It has 1 repeated minifigure. It has 1 amazing new minifigure. It has 1 half-baked new minifigure, 1 more half-baked new minifigure, and 1 more okay minifigure. And so personally, I think that for $90, Lego could have done a lot better than this little group right here. I think that for $90, Lego could have given us a good Black Panther minifigure, a good Okoye minifigure, and they could have given us a Midnight Angel. They could have had Aneka in the suit, and I think that that would have made the set a lot better. And the only other thing that's really missing is Ramonda. Like, why didn't we get a minifigure of Ramonda? She is such an important character in this movie. Like, extremely, extremely important. Like, she has, I feel like, a bigger role than Shuri in the first 2 acts of the film. and she has multiple amazing outfits. And so to not even get one minifigure of the Queen of Wakanda when the entire movie is about a war between her and Namor, basically, like, just why, Lego? Like, it seems really dumb to me. And it's not something that I'd really be complaining about if we didn't get a $90 set that should have had more minifigures to make it worth that price. So I do feel like we could have gotten the Midnight Angel minifigure and the Ramonda minifigure and the Namor minifigure. And I really wish that LEGO would just put a little bit more budget and effort into these Marvel sets. So unfortunately, even though we did get a ton of sets for Wakanda Forever relative to any other like recent solo MCU movie, I do feel like they could have been better. Like, the only sets that I really like fully loved after building them were Namor's throne room and Shuri's Sunbird. And now, like, I still love Namor's throne room, but I'm definitely like a little bit let down about Shuri's Sunbird. I still think it's an awesome toy. I just think that I would have liked it even more if it was more accurate to the movie, because I loved the way that the wings like would spread open in the film. And like, even the color scheme thing, like, that's very annoying to like have a completely inaccurate color scheme. Like, it's not even like a little bit accurate, except for like the gold highlights, I guess. But like the wing thing annoys me more because they're so close to greatness. If they just had a little bit more friction, they would open beautifully. And if there were, 4 of them instead of 3. But yeah, like the big set, the Sea Leopard, War on the Water, major letdown. It was kind of a letdown in the movie, to be honest, because like that was like a big honking ship that did absolutely nothing. But like, if LEGO's gonna get creative, then get creative. Give me an interior. And so I do think that I'm missing something Wakandan. Like, I'm missing Wakanda itself. Like, we have a little location with Shuri's lab, but I don't really count that. We have 2 vehicles, and we have a little bit of Talokan, and then we have a giant T'Challa. And I wish that we would have gotten like one set in Wakanda. And there is a big set piece in Wakanda. There's Namor's attack on the country. So it's not like there's no action for LEGO to base the set around. And I think that they should have done something Wakandan. Like, I don't know, like maybe make a giant Wakandan palace instead of Black Panther. Like, for $350, that would be an epic testament to the first movie, and you could have minifigures from both movies. I get that that's not what LEGO wanted to do, because they wanted to do just a display piece for adult collectors, but it's just something that could have made it more interesting. I understand why they did the Sea Leopard. That is where the final battle takes place. I feel like I'm missing that scene where Namor attacks Wakanda. It is so pivotal to like the entire Black Panther franchise, and it is so pivotal, I feel like, to the entire MCU, that I feel like we should have gotten a set based on it. So let me know what you guys think after you see the movie. Please don't comment any huge spoilers down below. Like, let's keep it to mild spoilers only. I tried to only talk about things relating to the scenes that the sets are based on. But that's it for today, so don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and check out my website, goldenninja3000.com, and I'll see you guys with more videos soon. Bye for now.